And here we are, folks. It's Shawnee I Spy, and I'm coming to you live. Yes, and I'm here on Carlson Productions. And what am I doing for you today? I'm showing you the time like no other astrologer before me. We're talking about the largest event of the year, the largest interview of the year, I should say. And we're going to show you why it is Tucker Carlson's fate to meet with Putin in Moscow at the Kremlin. Yeah. We're going to go through this in a very systematic manner with the importance of the planets as they come. We're going to look at we're going to look at Vlad and Vladimir Putin's. We're going to look at Vladimir Putin's chart, and we're going to look at Tucker's chart. We have both of them, as you can see here, and they fit together like clockwork. But of course, it's me, right? I'm the guy that's coming to you. I'm the guy that's willing to show you more astrology in 30 minutes than any other channel on YouTube. You will understand every single moment as you live it, as I do. Yes, I have over 20 years experience looking at charts, looking at events, and understanding why things are happening to me now. It is my destiny to be with you today. So let's look at Tucker, right? Tucker and Vlad. As we know, Vlad is a Libra with the Scorpio ascendant. That gives him 4 planets that he works with. Those 4 planets are A for Libra. It's when the sun is in Libra, we have the illumination of Venus and Saturn. Okay? Saturn is the basket, and Venus is the fruit in the basket. And Libra is ruled by the scales that measures the value of the basket, or the fruit in the basket, as I should say. So let's look at it. As we know that one of his ruling planets is Venus, we can see that Venus is in his chart at, what is it? Venus is in this chart, it's 11 degrees. Then we look at Saturn. Saturn is in his 12th house of fate at what? 17 degrees. Over here on the right side of the screen, we have the time of the interview. It's not the time, it's actually noon. I've drawn the chart for noon. I don't know what time it's actually happened. The planets are not going to move too much during this time period of the interview. We will know what time the interview actually happened when we get to view it tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when that interview goes live on Tucker's website. But what we need to do now is we need to know the fate, right? Because we want to know, is it really fate that we're here? Is it really fate that I'm talking to you today? And I'm going to show you this because it's absolutely the fate thing. Because one of Libra's ruling signs is Venus and Saturn. Saturn is that planet that rules that fate. And that 12th house is that house of karmic situations, right? He's got a loaded 12th house, and it's a very small 12th house, right? But here we go. Let's take a look at it. Today, what we have here, when we have the interview in Moscow, we can look at there. I try to select this. You're going to see this is the bug of this. You're going to see the bug of this program here. When I go to select and I go to edit this chart, I will go up here and I will click on Moscow, and then I will actually select it, and then I will calculate it, and it doesn't change, eh? Everything's got a bug. I just wanted to show you this, just so you know that I know this doesn't say Moscow, but every time I go to edit the chart and select it, it's a little frustrating. When you want to click Moscow, it's supposedly it's the same thing, right? So I don't know. It's a redundancy in this chart system, okay? So I've tried to do this. Okay, so what we have here is we have the transit of planets, okay? Now let's look at the charts here. Let's look at the charts and let's know our fate, right? Because we want to know, are we fated with our lives or are we not fated with our lives, right? And it's truly something that is answered in this. I mean, if it didn't happen, if it wasn't supposed to happen, it wouldn't have happened, right? And so here we go. Here's Tucker's chart. Tucker has got a Cancer ascendant at 24 degrees. Yep, 24 degrees in the Cancer Pisces house, right? First decan is ruled by Cancer, second decan is ruled by Cancer Scorpio, and then the third decan is Cancer Pisces, right? So we have that Neptune thing in his thing. He's there, he's trying to figure out the mystery of it all, right? So let's take a look here. Let's look at what we have. We have Tucker at 25 degrees. He's a Taurus. He's a Taurus at 25 degrees, his sun. He has a moon and Neptune ascendant, okay? And now we're going to look at the charts, right? We're going to look at this. Now look at this is the first motion of fate that we have. We have what we have with Vladimir is we have this Scorpio rising, which his two important planets to go with his ascendant is Pluto and Mars. So for the time of this interview, Mars is waxing in its conjunction, its new moon with Pluto, which happens once every it's not quite 2 years, but we say 2 years, okay? So what we have is Mars sitting at Capricorn, right? Mars is one of Putin's major league planets, okay? So what do we have? What do we have, folks? We have Mars at 25 degrees, 29 minutes for this interview date at 12 noon in Moscow, okay? Look at this, Capricorn, 25 degrees Capricorn. And what do we know about that? We know that 25 degrees Capricorn is opposed Tucker's ascendant, and that 25 degrees is just on the cusp, just coming above the cusp of his 7th house of relationships, which is ruled by, the 7th house is naturally ruled by Libra, right? But we have a Capricorn overlap, and we have an Aquarius intersection as well. And look at this, look how it works here, guys. Because Pluto, which is that god of war, actually the god of war and death, we have associated with Scorpio, right? So we have Mars and Pluto's getting ready for this conjunction, and it's all happening right here on Tucker's 7th house cusp. Now let's look at Saturn. Where do we find Saturn these days? Tucker has a Saturn at 2 degrees Taurus, okay? These two were absolutely made for each other, okay? This interview was made in time. Time is ruled by Saturn. And what do we have here? Vladimir. Vladimir he has a Scorpio ascendant at 3 degrees. So Tucker's Saturn, which is one of the ruling planets for Putin, Tucker's Saturn is opposed Vlad's ascendant. It's a true thing. Now, we have an interesting time here because we know that Jupiter, which is in Taurus, is in this waxing opposition with what? With Vlad's Venus. Yes, it's a true thing. Vlad's Venus is at, what's Vlad's Venus? At 11 degrees Scorpio, right? This is the true thing of it all. This is the relationship. This is the fate, folks. Fate is something that's on all of our slate. So we have these charts here, and I'm showing you this right off the bat. The interview is absolutely happening on a Mercury day. The interview is absolutely happening on a Wednesday. February 7th. We only have a couple days of Aquarius left. And where's the sun? The sun is at 18 degrees. For the interview, the sun's at 18 degrees, and we have to look at that 18 degree mark in these charts, right? Where is that 18 degree mark for the sun's at 18 degrees Aquarius, which would absolutely be trine when we look at it here. Let's move this up here. Let's enlarge, and let's scroll over like this. Look at this. The sun's at 18 degrees Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. And look at Vlad's chart here. Pluto is actually trine Vlad's Uranus. Okay, it's a true thing. This is actually Tucker's chart. Sorry, we went the wrong way. Here we go. Let's do this again. So what we have here, We have all kinds of measurement. We have all kinds of lineups here, folks, that are really cool here to look at. Let me zoom out here for you. That sun is at 18 degrees Aquarius. When we go down here, we look at that 18 degrees Aquarius. The sun is absolutely squared Putin's Jupiter at 19 degrees Taurus, right? That's where the sun is. The sun is actually squared his. And that Jupiter is in that Venus house, right? Look at this. Look how that is here. Vlad's chart, October 7th. And here this interview is happening on February 7th. Isn't that just amazing? And he's born as a Tuesday child. I mean, when you get the little message from, when you're getting the little message from Tucker that he's going to interview him, it happens on a Tuesday, right? Which is Vlad's birthday. Yeah, he's born on a Tuesday. And it's happening on February 7th. You know, this is when this relationship is, right? You know, look, it's the 7th, right? Which means Vlad is actually starting a new house. Yeah. Vlad is a Libra, right? Aquarius would be, when you look at the sun, when it moves over, because that's what's happening here. When you look at this chart here for February 7th. He's born on October 7th. So when you look at the signs here, you know, when you look at that house system, you go October's the first house, October 7th to November 7th. That's his first house, okay? Because he's a Libra. So that first house is his house personality. The second house, when the moon's in Scorpio, is the second house of values and self-worth. And it brings us all the way around to Aquarius, which would be his fifth house of the heart, okay? Of his heart's desires, okay? So we can look at that part. Now, when we're looking at these other things here, we look at it's a full house. For Vlad, there's a lot of things going on right now, but look at this Mercury. The Mercury, right? It's on a Wednesday. The interview's on a Mercury. The Mercury rules Wednesday, and look where Mercury is. Mercury is absolutely squaring Vlad's ascendant, right? It's an interview. And for 3 degrees Aquarius, we got to look at that 3-degree mark, because we know that, what? That 3-degree mark is very important for Putin, or not Putin, but that 3-degree mark is very important for Tucker as well, right? And why do I say this? Because we find that Taurus, right? We find that Taurus, we have that Saturn in Taurus, you know, so this Mercury in Aquarius is squared his Saturn, right? And Putin is one of Putin's ruling planets. So we can see the charts here, guys. I'm showing you these charts. I'm gonna zoom out so you can take a look at them all. I'll zoom out again. Here's Tucker's chart. So what I've done for you in just a few moments here, I'm showing you how to be an awesome astrologer. I'm showing you how to be an awesome astrologer quick, because right now the sun is in Aquarius, right? It's illuminating everything that's going on in Aquarius, but it's also illuminating that Uranus thing. And that Uranus is at Taurus at 19 degrees. And what do we find in Tucker's chart at 19 degrees? I mean, when we look at this, when we look at that 19 degree mark, where's that 19 degree mark? And when we look at this, you know, what is close to 19 degrees? Because that's where Uranus is for everyone right now. You know, Uranus is moving slow. We have a 22 degree mark. We have a 15 degree mark. And this is a beautiful thing here, because Tucker's got this Venus here, right? Venus in Aries at 15 degrees, you know? That's where Tucker's Venus is, in Aries. 15 degrees. And look at Vlad's chart, right? The Venus is absolutely in conjunct Putin's Venus, right? It's all about work. But when we want to look at that Libra house, for Putin. We have, because Venus is one of the ruling planets for Libra. So he's got a sun He's got a sun at Libra at 13 degrees, and then he's got that Saturn in Libra at 17 degrees, right? This is what he's got. And then he's got Neptune at 21 degrees. And we go back to that Venus. I mean, that value planet, the planet of values in Tucker's chart, right? Look at this. He's got a 10th house Venus at 15 degrees, right? And you can see the time of this interview, right? You can look at that here. Look at that whole entire situation happening with this. Look where Chiron is. See? Because he's talking about how many people, how many wounded, how many dead of this massive war that's changed one of the largest countries in Europe. You know, Ukraine's like the largest country in Europe. And look at this. Look at this. Chiron is at 16 degrees Aries. Conjunct Tucker's natal Venus, right? So, folks, I don't want to make this too long here. I think in just a few moments here, I've just showed you the fate of the interview, right? The fate of these two individuals born in time to talk to each other. Their planets are actually hooked together like a puzzle. And I think, and I believe, I don't just believe in, but I know and understand that this is the most clear way, most apparent way to understand astrology. I mean, look at their ascendants. It's absolutely crazy how well it all lines up here. I mean, it's right to the point. We're not skirting around. We don't need asteroids or anything like this. We can just see the planetary activity happening. We can see Putin's, for Tucker's chart, we can know that Putin's ascendant is ruled, or Putin's sun in Libra. One of those ruling planets is Venus and Saturn. So, guys, that's the time. The 10th house is ruled by Saturn. Look what Saturn and Venus are doing in Tucker's chart. And they are key planets for Libra. And look at that. Look at his career going. I'll let you go. And I hope you've had a quick learn on this one.